Peace Collective, Divine Feminine here. Welcome to the space where we put energy first and watch everything else fall into alignment. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Ground in, glow up. Let's go. Aligned, activated, ascended. Welcome back to the realm of alignment where we unlock the body's hidden code. Okay, y'all. So, welcome to class. Class is in session. We are back with a video talking about DNA activation. Okay, now this video, I've been wanting to talk about this information for the longest time, and I feel like now is a great time to talk about this information because a lot of people are getting, codes, receiving codes, and don't realize that they're receiving codes, and don't realize that they're receiving activations or even communication from their spirit team, which a lot of people are dealing with. You might be experiencing dreams that are very interesting right now that you can't really explain. You might be experiencing visitations from your soul family, from different star systems, and you may not understand what's happening right now. And the best way for you to understand what's happening right now is to just get in alignment with the codes that are being sent to you. The best way that you can get into alignment with the codes that's being sent to you is by activating that DNA. Now, back in 2020, everybody, especially Black people, were talking about being activated, getting those activation codes naturally, which I do believe absolutely happened. 2020 unlocked something that was lying dormant in a lot of us, humanity in general, where we can start to receive our gifts. Our gifts were coming online. Our gifts are still coming online. Everybody isn't fully tapped into their gifts yet. Some people are still, making their way there, which is okay. Right now, there is this urge for the collective, if you resonate with the collective, to start activating your DNA on your own. This codependent energy of us just waiting for, something to come around and tell us what to do and tell us where to go or to be saved, I think is a little bit of wishful thinking. I'm not going to lie to you. So I think that we do have a responsibility. I feel that we do have a responsibility right now to do our part. And doing our part means genuinely discovering the parts of ourselves that have been lying dormant and that a lot of us are afraid to discover. But that's a part of the purpose. So DNA activation, taking your elixirs, I believe will support you in naturally going into the opening and accessing of your gifts a little easier. So I'm gonna share some information with you. I got my laptop here. Don't mind me if I'm just looking off to the side. I'm just gonna be reading all my notes. I have so many notes to share with you guys. But let's start with copper, silver, and gold. Okay, these are these are three metals that we naturally already have inside of our body and outside of our bodies. Okay, let's start there. Copper is something you naturally have stored in your blood. It's in your DNA naturally. It's in your melanin. Melanin carries copper, yes. Did I say brain? Yeah, it's in your brain, it's in your blood, it's in melanin in general. Melanin carries copper. So copper is a natural conductor. Now we have silver. Silver is naturally within our bodies as well. It is the highest reflective metal to exist. It is actually what helps information come through without being distorted. Then we have gold. Gold is the amplifier. I love gold. Gold is the amplifier, and we've witnessed this throughout ancient civilizations many, many times, how gold has been used. Gold does not get bad. It doesn't go bad. It doesn't rot. It doesn't die. It stays as it is. Gold shows up and it amplifies things. So we're going to talk more in depth about these things, and I'm going to tell you the different elixirs that you can get that carry these elements that will help support you in your DNA activation if you are ready to take it to the next level, okay? Everything we're doing here is about ascension, quantum jumping, quantum ascension. So everything that we talk about in these videos is to take you to the next level. So DNA isn't just genetic storage. It doesn't just store your DNA to tell you what bloodline you belong to and what your family tree looks like and, you know, who's your family members, who your ancestors are. All that is amazing, but it is responsive intelligence. So it's more than just the physical realm of, you know, who you are connected to in terms of physical realm, but it is actually responsive intelligence. Your DNA responds to what it is that it connects to. And the things that it connects to and responds to are these three metals, which is copper, silver, and gold. Now, these are one of the three. Your DNA responds to everything, by the way. Your DNA responds to how you speak to it. Your DNA responds to the environments that you go into. Your DNA responds to the people that you're around. Your DNA responds to the downloads that you get. Your DNA responds to the gifts that you have. Like, everything that you do, your DNA responds, okay? Because it is responsive intelligence. Your DNA is beyond intelligent. I don't even think that we have done all of the research necessary to fully understand how powerful our DNA is, okay? So back to our notes here. Your body doesn't just run on food, okay? It doesn't just run on oxygen. It also runs on frequency, conductivity, and memory, okay? So now that we understand that, we got that out the way. Your DNA, you have to think of your DNA like antennas, okay? It's sitting in your body. It's open and ready to receive, okay? It's receptive to all things around you, okay? So your DNA is the antenna, your nervous system is the translator, and your blood and minerals are the delivery system. Mind-blowing. Putting it into that perspective helps me even understand how powerful our bodies are and how this ecosystem is just working together for our greatest good, okay? So, you know, if you watch any of my videos or if you're on my page and you follow me, how much I love talking about the nervous system. The nervous system is one of my favorite things to talk about because it does translate information. Whatever comes to you, your body picks up on it, and then your nervous system translates it to help you understand what it is that you just received. But the problem with that is if you are in distorted energy, this is where your gifts lie dormant and you're not able to actually tap into them and use them. And in a lot of those cases where people have gifts that are trying to activate, but there's a resistance happening, that's where fear comes in. And you become fearful of your gifts. But that's because distorted energy is sitting in your body. And if you have distortion sitting in your body, there are tools that can help you with removing that distortion. And that's where silver comes in. Because silver is the element that shows up into a space to reflect back authentically what is being shown. Okay, so if you have silver in your body, every form of DNA that you have sitting in your frequency, all of the energy that you carry authentically within yourself, that silver will reflect it back outwardly so that there is no distortion, right? And then you don't have to be fearful. And you can actually, operate in your gifts with confidence. But all of these things, all of these elements, we have to understand they are here to support us because they are genuinely showing up in our orbits, in our realities, to put us on the path that we need to be on. Everything around us is happening for us. Everything in this realm, we have to look at this as like school. We are in school in this realm. We're not just here living, we're in school. So we're learning about ourselves and we're learning about the different things that we need to do in order to step into our power, because we all have a path that we're supposed to be walking. And that's why it's disrespectful to not be operating in your power. But anyway, let's go back to this. All right, so let's go and break down the three things, the three different metals again. I did bring up copper as the activator and life current. So copper is essential for your nervous system, the iron metabolism, it's the oxygen, which is the oxygen delivery. So if you're taking iron, I'm going to say this really quick. If you're taking iron right now, or you're iron deficient, this is a great way to put it into perspective. So if you're dealing with low iron, that means that your blood just needs more oxygen. And go and get some supplements where you can, some natural supplements where you can help support your blood getting more oxygen. And it's not something that you have to stay on long term. You don't even have to take supplements, just eat your greens, okay? Spinach, kale, broccoli. Eat your greens if you need to get your iron up and your high red blood cell count. Anyway, copper also supports collagen. So for my collagen girlies out there going crazy about keeping their skin tight and it looking smooth and, you know, whatever, copper will do that for you. And now let me put you onto the elixir. Chlorophyll. Chlorophyll is one of those things I take on a daily basis, almost on a daily basis. Not every single day, but usually you'll see me drinking some green water. That green water is chlorophyll. Chlorophyll is a natural blood deodorizer. It helps keep your blood smelling, well, not keep your blood smelling good, I should say. It actually helps clean your blood so that the toxins and the waste that go into your bloodstream can be cleansed out, so that in return, when you sweat, you're not sweating all of those toxins through your pores, because your body, its only goal is to get rid of things that are interfering with your system that don't belong there. So when you have toxins in your blood passes that through, and when you sweat, your sweat glands release a smell if you are carrying, toxins in your body, if your blood is, over polluted. So if you have polluted blood, drink some chlorophyll. The chlorophyll will help deodorize your blood, clean it out, and the copper works to make sure that happens. So copper is great for your blood. Okay, your bloodstream needs copper. Now, before I move forward, let me see if I miss anything. Copper conducts life force. This is another thing that I love about copper. Copper is in my hair. I love copper jewelry. I will pick copper over, buying expensive jewelry any day. You'll just see me rocking my copper by itself. And I love that because copper is a natural conductivity, and it responds to the sun. So whenever you have copper in your presence, because it responds to the sun, it's receiving the sun activation and the information and intelligence that's coming from the sun, and it amplifies that so that you can receive it in your auric field. Now, because you also have copper in your blood, and melanin also carries copper, that's even more of an amplifier, because the information is amplified connecting to those two things as well. So not only is the copper amplifying the information from the sun to touch your auric field, but it's also going into your skin and amplifying the intelligence in your skin, in your DNA, and the intelligence that's sitting in your blood as well, which I think is so amazing. Copper is super, super cool to me. I love copper, everything about copper. I love the way it looks. I love the way that it operates with the sun. I love what it does. My favorite. Okay, so if you have copper and you want to clean your copper, because you have to remember, copper receives information and it holds on to it. So if you start to see your copper going from a shiny metal to kind of brown and it's not as shiny, that means you need to clean your copper. Put your copper into some water, a bowl of water, and lime. No, not lime, lemon. Get some lemon, cut your lemon in half, squeeze the lemon into the water, leave the lemons in the water, take your copper, put it in the water, and let it sit for about 25 to 30 minutes. You can get a toothbrush to, fine shine your copper so that you can get the extra squeaky clean look if you want to, but the lemon will really do its job. I think some people add baking soda. I don't know. I've just only used lemon. Lemon is all I use, and it works very well. But to each their own. So yes, copper is one of those things that is a natural conductor. It's honestly amazing. I love everything about it. So let's get into silver. Now, silver is one of those elements that has been around for me as a child. I've been hearing about silver, seeing silver forever. And I'm not talking about coins. I'm talking about spiritual jewelry for protection. I'm talking about spiritual work. I've been seeing silver around for many different things. Now, it is a memory keeper and a nervous system guardian. Silver is one of those things that carries very strong feminine energy and also connected to the moon. So silver, I've always looked at silver as, very feminine. I love silver jewelry. I think I've always been drawn more towards silver than gold when it came to my jewelry, which I found that silver is feminine energy and gold is masculine energy. Silver is connected to the moon, gold is connected to the sun. So we understand these two polar opposites and the yin and yang energy. Yin is feminine energy, which is within the inner realm. It's darker. Yang is the outer energy, which is the masculine energy. It's brighter because it's on the exterior. Okay, so it is associated with, we know now, silver is associated with the moon, feminine intelligence, the subconscious mind, because it's the inner realm, and the emotional body. So silver stabilizes the nervous system so DNA can receive without overload. So this is what I love about silver. Silver is a natural stabilizer. Silver will pull up to the scene and set the tone, okay? Set the record straight. Put the chaos to rest and put everything into order and alignment. That's how I view silver, okay? Which is such feminine energy to me. I feel like silver is the empress of the empire. Just comes in and just, her voice just puts everything into structure. Her presence, I should say, puts everything into alignment. The elixir that you can use to support your silver intake is colloidal silver. Now, this elixir is one of the first to show up on the scene before anybody understood how taking these elements can activate your DNA, because everything is kind of popular now, and once it gets popular, it gets watered down. So I trust this elixir, and I've been using it, and I've been using it for years now, and honestly, it helps. It helps a lot. But just know, this is my disclaimer. If you plan on activating your DNA, just understand this is no walk in the park. You're going to go through some interesting life shifts. Life may actually get really bad for you before it gets good again, okay? Because you have to go through a whole rebirthing process of learning. Like, I'm telling you, the work, doing the work, the inner work is no joke. Okay, it's no game, it's no game, it's no game. But get this elixir. This specific silver elixir will support your immune system. Sorry, you're not your immune system, your nervous system, and put things into perspective for you so that the copper in your system and the gold in your system that you naturally carry can understand itself, and you can not understand itself, but so that you can receive the codes without distortion. And we understand that's what silver does. It is a natural stabilizer. And considering that humans are made up of between 50 to 70% water, we have a lot of water in our system. Water also holds memory. So imagine speaking to yourself these words that go into our subconscious mind, the way that we speak to ourselves. That's why it's so powerful, because we have so much water in our bodies. And if you can speak to water in the physical and have some water in a glass and speak into it, the crystallization that is created in that water can either be positive or negative depending on what you're saying to it. So imagine that being your body. That's why you have to be mindful of the words that you use when you speak to yourself, or just when you speak in general, because your words are powerful. Your body picks up on it. Everything that you say and do, your body's picking up on it, and it's reflecting it back to you. So make sure you get some silver in your system to remove the distortion. Okay? All right. Now, gold. Gold. Gold is the amplifier and master frequency. Gold never gets old. It never gets old. Okay, that's why you see our ancestors rocking gold like nobody's business. They were buried in gold. Gold ran the empire, but it wasn't because of status. The only reason why we honor and worship gold so much is because humans are obsessed with status. Our ancestors didn't do it for status. Our ancestors understood the intelligence behind gold, and that's why they honored gold the way that they did. They understood that gold wasn't solar intelligence. They understood that gold was Christ consciousness, energy, and sovereignty. Mind you, that's why robbing the tomb and taking gold off the tomb wasn't just robbery, it was spiritual theft. That's why a lot of people who robbed the tombs in Egypt and took the gold out of the tombs or took the gold out of the pyramids are cursed. Because gold wasn't just about status, it wasn't about money. Gold, they understood, had an intelligence because gold carries frequency very cleanly. That's why gold doesn't get old, it doesn't corrode. Gold stays in its form when it's natural. So when the ancestors buried their people, they buried them in gold because they understood that gold was timeless. They viewed gold as a timeless type of metal. It didn't age, so it stayed forever. It was a forever type of frequency, and because of that, they needed something as a natural. What would you call it? What did I say it was? Oh, sorry. It's an anchor. They used gold as a natural anchor in the spirit realm so that when they buried their people, our ancestors, when they buried our people, they buried them with gold so that the natural anchor would keep them up in the spirit realm. So imagine going into a tomb and taking the gold from the tomb, not understanding that that's what the gold was used for. That's crazy. That's wild. Now, because I'm all about integrity and responsibly sharing information, I will not share the gold elixir that I once used because I don't believe that gold is meant to be taken because, first of all, you can't actually intake or ingest gold. You can't bottle gold safe enough where you can swallow it because the elixir that I was taking, it turned into a white powdery substance, and that's not gold and may have negative long-term effects for some people. So I don't want to suggest it. I do believe that you have to be called to use certain things, and everyone's body reacts differently to certain things, especially if we're talking on a spiritual level. So if you're not called to use certain things, please don't jump and use it. If you have to, if you have the ability to, if you feel like you need to, talk to your spirit team. Talk to your spirit team, talk to God, pray about it, and see what you feel called to using. You know, don't just go and use things just because you heard somebody in a video say it was cool for you. Now, when it comes to gold specifically, I do believe silver and copper are two very healthy things that you can take in your system. You can even find it in foods. Gold itself, though, is one of those really unique things that is hard to tell people to just go and put into their systems. So I think that when it comes to gold is really about coherence in the nervous system. That's how you can find the gold in your body. It's about getting the work done on yourself spiritually and finding a balanced nervous system, and that's what allows the inner gold to shine outwardly. That's how you can open up your solar plexus energy, and I think that's the better way to go about activating the gold in your body. What I truly believe about gold is you can amplify and activate gold already in your system. I think gold is about alchemy, and alchemy is about amplifying something in yourself that doesn't corrode, which becomes gold. So I think that when you take the two, elements of silver and copper, and you use those two elements to amplify what you already carry in your system, the result is gold. And that's where your spirit doesn't corrode. That's where your gifts don't corrode. That's when they don't get bad, because it becomes gold, because you've been able to actually tap into your gifts, nourish them, support them, pay attention to them, work with them. All of those things, I think, is what the end result creates in creating gold. Now, there are elixirs that exist that people call monoatomic gold, that you can actually take. But honestly, I don't think that's for everybody, so I wouldn't share that with everyone. I don't think that it would be responsible for me to do so. I only know that silver and copper are very safe to take. The monoatomic gold elixir I used to take, honestly, I don't think I witnessed any great changes. It didn't affect me in any type of way. I could definitely say that. But again, you can do your own research on monoatomic gold, but I just don't feel like it'd be responsible for me to tell you to just go and get monoatomic gold and take it. Because even if it does work for some people, I don't think it works for everybody. I don't think everybody is meant to take certain elixirs. And I feel like the monoatomic gold is one of those elixirs. It's very, very powerful, and it could cause more harm than good if you end up taking it. And also, if you look it up, you're going to find that it is debunked. It's not, one of those things that's open to the public where science would support it. Not like silver and copper. Not as of yet. So it's going to be hard to do your research if you're already on the edge of it. So I would just say stay away from it and look at it from this perspective. It's all about alchemy. Creating something in your body, a spirit in your body, an energy in your body that doesn't corrode. That's gold. Using the copper and the silver to work with, activating your DNA, tapping into your gifts, that's gold. Cleaning and taking care of your blood and, holding onto memory and information using silver and copper, that's gold. So, yes, that's what we can do to work with the elements. That's how we can, amplify our gifts. I truly believe. And that's just what I'm going to share with you guys. One thing I will definitely say is while you're taking your copper and your silver, working on your alchemy experience of becoming gold, I would say the best thing for you to do for yourself, you're going to need to do for yourself, is stay grounded. You're going to need to meditate. You're going to need to do some breath work. You're going to need to do shadow work. You cannot fast track your way into DNA activation. You might go crazy. So breath work, grounding, meditations are going to be things you will find will help you and support you in the process. I had some very interesting experiences when I first started taking these elixirs. I was doing a meditation in front of a mirror, and I literally saw the vibration of my entire body, just going back and forth. It looked insane. And I was just beaming. And if I wasn't doing that meditation, I don't know what would have happened. But I definitely will encourage you to stay grounded while you're taking these elixirs, because DNA activation isn't a smooth, nice, sweet walk in the park, okay? It's going to be an interesting journey depending on you as a person, and depending on the memory that you're holding in your DNA, because you also have to consider that. You have your Akashic records as well. You have your past life experiences. You have all these different memories from these different lifetimes still sitting in your DNA, and you don't want to sit around activating trauma and memory that could cause more harm than good without setting the grounding energy around you. So make sure you're meditating and doing your breath work. Make sure you're drinking a lot of water. Make sure you're eating very good. And stay in prayer. Stay in prayer and have faith in God while you're doing this, because remember, God resides within you. God is not outside of you. God resides within you. So once your intentions are pure, once they're good, and you start to put your intention towards tapping into who you truly are, because there's nothing wrong with that. That's what you're here for. You are just one of the ones who are answering the call to do more of the work and find out more of who you are instead of stopping at a certain threshold. God will support you. Okay, so I love you guys so much. Thank you everyone for tuning in to my video. I really appreciate you being here. I hope that you take this information with you once again and use it responsibly, and share with me in the comment section what your journey is looking like right now. If you feel open to getting these elixirs, I will put the links below so that you can find the ones that I trust, and that I believe you can trust as well. Really good brands, and I'll put some options as well. So for the collective that's looking for something to support them on their journey of ascension, and might feel like you need something to get you into alignment and to help you activate your chakras, working with your energy, and something to create a solid foundation before you go into your DNA activation, I do have a workbook coming out on Amazon. It's called the Quantum Ascension Workbook. It is for 90 days. It's a 90-day program that gets you completely in order, helps you work through all of these shadow energies, anything that's laying dormant or stagnant in your energetic field, so that you can focus completely on ascending and activating your DNA codes within yourself. So check it out on Amazon. It'll be out by the end of December. So we'll say January 2026 is when that book will be coming out, and you can look forward to that on Amazon once again. So I will have a Canadian link and a link for the US, which is international. I love you guys so much once again, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.